Filipino culture, I have an issue with the entire James Fallow framework of looking at corruption, that corruption is endemic in the Philippines because corruption is ingrained in our culture. I really have issues with that. Although I must admit that most of our corrupt politicians are able to use certain aspects of Filipino culture to perpetuate themselves in power. Yung pakikisama, yung KBL, Kasal Binyag-Libeng. But I look at Filipino culture as a field of contestation. There are certain aspects of Filipino culture that can be used to perpetuate corruption, but there are also aspects of Filipino culture that you can occasionally. Filipinos would usually go through stages eh. Yung first ay yung lambing.
Okay.
So, yung usually ang ginagawa doon ng mga Pilipinong nakakita ng ng kamalian, umiihem. Pag hindi nakuha sa lambing, dadaan sa stage ng biro. Pag hindi naman sa stage ng biro, doon na nagiging confrontational yung Filipino. I don't think it's the process of corruption because corruption will always be there in any society, in any polity. There will always be corruption. I think what we lack are institutions to contain and combat corruption. It's not corruption per se, but the lack of institutions. Ang assumption mo is that these nations are less corrupt. I don't think so. Even corruption in this country are also widespread. In the sense that yung state kasi, parang the state and the state in the industrial complex, so to speak, in these countries are feeding on each other. In Japan, you have the Zaibatsus. You have Japanese companies that were able to corner contracts from the Japanese state. The World War II and after the Second World War, in Korea, the emergence of the South Korean economy in a way was also a product of corruption. Parang the state and the chaebols, yung mga Korean conglomerates like Samsung na malaking-malaki ngayon, fed into each other. Parang nakaroon sila ng agreement na the chaebols, the Korean companies will have access to state funds, but the state would ensure na as these companies grow, parang the state would ensure that a portion ng kita nila would be used to feed yung I think it would give it a passing grade, but barely. To be fair to this administration, I think it's doing its share in making sure that those who were involved in corruption in the previous administration are brought to justice. Because the GMA, the ampatuans are because yung mga ampatuans, syempre I would want na masentensyahan sila, pero hindi pa. Medyo mabagal talaga yung proseso ng batas sa bansang ito. May ginagawa namin kay Jojo Bolante. Corona was impeached. Mercedes Gutierrez was resigned from office. So in a way, you have to give the devil its due. Parang nagagawa naman ng administration, dapat niyang gawin. And pursuing certain individuals, certain questionable individuals who were connected with the previous administration. But the question is sustainability. Even if you put these people behind bars, the question is, in the next administration, what would happen? If you don't have those institutions that would ensure that their wheels of justice would keep on turning despite the change in leadership, despite the change of administration. That's the question. How do you make these victories accountable? So that's where you need legislative measures that would institutionalize yung anti-corruption efforts ng gobyerno ngayon. Supposedly, kaya ka merong FOI. Unfortunately, hindi siya sinacertify ng urgent ng Malacanang. So parang Erin Tanyada, natapos na yung kanyang term as congressman. So parang wala pa rin FOI. So yung tingin ko, doon may kakulangan yung administrasyon. It is targeting specific individuals associated with the corruption in the previous administration. But creating those institutions, those mechanisms to ensure transparency and accountability, tingin ko doon may kakapusan. This is pure speculation. Pero tingin ko, baka ang tingin kasi ng administration, matituno naman kami. So parang, then matituno kami, we would go after these individuals. Pero, hindi mo na kasi kailangan ng matinong leader, kailangan mo rin ng matinong institusyon. Without those institutions, leadership may not be enough eh. Tapos pangalawa din, leadership is also a product of institutions eh. If you have strong institutions, then more or less you would have strong leaders eh. If you have weak institutions, even though you have strong leaders, it may not be enough. So yun yung nagawa ng private sector, well, to be fair sa private sector, particularly yung mga nasa Makati Business Club, meron silang tinatag na, CACC, Coalition Against Corruption. So, these are business groups and academe who form a coalition to combat corruption. And I think, parang, kung malaki kang korporasyon, I think that's where your CSR should go. Parang corporate social responsibility. Ensure that your company is doing its share in combating corruption. In a way, yung ginagawa na yon ng business community ng academe is part of social accountability. Dahil mahina yung state accountability mechanisms mo, mahina yung checks and balance mo. Supposedly, yung legislation na mag-check sa executive ay dugisan din. Especially within the police scandal. For a time, yung previous ombudsman mo ay malapit na kaibigan ng previous president. Mahina yung state accountability mechanisms mo eh. So, for the time being, ang bigat talaga ng responsibility andun sa social accountability sa mga civil society groups sa mga ordinary citizens mo to exact accountability. But it may not be sustainable eh. In the long run, you would have to build the capacity of the state. Develop their accountability and transparency mechanisms and make sure that the state would be able to discipline its own leaders and its own elites. If you don't do that, in the long run, it may not be sustainable. The campaign may not be that sustainable. Fifth question, what do I think about the Napoles scam? Nakakaubos ng dugo? Sa totoo lang, nakakaubos ng dugo. 10 billion pesos of taxpayers' money. How many school buildings ang nagawa na doon. Pero maganda yung sinulat ng article ni Chai Hofalenya sa Rappler. In a way, it's also the failure of our institutions. Parang hindi man lang nataka yung nanay ni Napoles sa ba't siya binibigyan ng napakalaking pera kada buwan. Hindi man lang nagtaka yung kanyang kurang paroko na bakit kung magbigay ng donation si Napoles sa simbahan ay pagkalaki-laki. Hindi man lang nagtaka yung ating gobyerno bakit. Meron siyang 80 NGOs. In a way, it's a failure of the family, the church, and the state. And supposedly, these are the major institutions in Filipino society. Next question, bakit siya nangyari? Well, yun nga. Kasi nga, may failure yung mga institutions mo eh. Hindi lang Estado, kundi pati simbahan. Usapin na transparency, there's really a problem with PDAF. It's not only an anti-corruption issue, but it's also an irrationality issue. In a way, a checks and balance issue. Hindi na siya usapin ng transparency. Well, what is pork barrel in the first place? Pork barrel is discretionary funds that you give to Congress, that you give to individual legislators. So, ayan, 70 million for congressmen and 200 million for senators yearly sa GAA. What makes PDAP irrational? Well, supposedly, you have a liberal democratic state. And in a liberal democratic state, one principle of a liberal democratic state is separation of powers and checks and balance. Supposedly, Congress, meaning the two chambers, the House and the Senate, have the power of the purse. But the power of release lies with the executive. Bakit ganon? Kasi nga, kinakailangan chinecheck ng isa't isa yung trabaho nila. Yung Kongreso yung mag-allocate ng pondo kung saan gagamitin. Yung Kongreso, yung Malacanang, yung ehekutibo, yung ang siya maglalabas ng pera. May PDAF ka. So yung pera nandun sa mga ahensya. Pero yung congressman, quote-unquote, may recommendatory power kung saan gagamitin yung pera for small projects. Yung problema. Kaya, tanong, do I want the PDAP to be abolished? Yes, by all means. It has to be abolished. It's really irrational. If you want to create a strong state, meaning a strong state, a capable state, hindi yung not an authoritarian one, kundi a state that is able to perform its functions and provide services to its people when it is needed, where they are needed, then you would have to rationalize that, the entire state structure. And the PDAF is just one irrational stumbling block in building the capacity of the state. What is the effect of the PDAF scandal in the Philippines, in our society? Is it positive? Well, the people who went to Luneta last August 26, I think it's a positive indication that a large segment of your people are just exasperated with the PDAF issue. So in a way, it's a positive development because before wala namang umakalma dyan eh. Of course, your legislators would not raise hell over it kasi nakikinabang sila. Yung mga tao naman parang tingin nila basta't may serbisyo, okay lang. Pero yung sa Luneta, mukhang merong pagtingin na something is amiss. Something is terribly wrong with this country. Something is really wrong with the entire pork barrel system. So tingin ko, it's positive. Will it lead to the abolition of the PDAF at this stage? Maybe not. Pero then, nagbago na yung diskurso. Hindi na siya, there's this paper before by former House Speaker Nograles, and saying that the PDAF system is not a quote-unquote sinful pork barrel like in the States. Kasi sa States kasi may pork barrel pero puro riders yun puro insertions. Yung sa PDAF dito daw, talagang nakalagay sa GAA. But it's still meant to it's still discretionary funds to the legislature to consolidate the executive. So may mali pa rin yan Sinful or not, there's still really something wrong with the PDAF. Tingin ko nagbabago na yung diskurso. Tapos pangalawa, tingin ko may unti-unti na appreciate na kung kailangan ng isang lugar ng proyekto na kailangan nila. Hindi yung trabaho ng congressman. Trabaho yun ng mayor mo at ng governor mo. Kasi sila yung executive eh. Ang trabaho ng congressman mo is to enact policies. Hindi to identify small-scale projects in your for their constituents. That's the responsibility of the governor, the mayor, and the LCEs, local chief executives. So, tingin ko may unti-unti na meron ng ganong appreciation. Will it lead to a change in the electorate? That's the challenge. If you want to have a change in your electorate, you would require two things. One, you need to make PDAF an electoral issue. And by that, you would have to make PDAF an electoral issue in 2016. Ibig sabihin nun, dapat yung mga taong involved doon sa issue. May mga nabanggit na senador, halos na lahat ng kongresista involved, dapat hindi na sila manalo. Tabi ba ng tabagat, dapat hindi na sila manalo. Pero the bigger challenge for the electorate is how do you create a strong party system? The reason why you have PDAF, you have pork barrel, and it persists up to this day because you have weak parties. Wala kang partido. Ang partido mo kasi pang-consolidate ng executive mo at yun yung pang-consolidate ng opposition mo. Nagkakaisa kayo sa programa. Anong gusto nyong gawin, i-implement kung mananalo kayo. Because of a weak party system, ang basis of unity nyo, ano bang ibibigay mo sa akin na discretionary fund para supportahan kita? Pag ganun yung usapan, pag ganun yung usapan ng mga leaders natin, they become vulnerable to corruption. Unlike kung usapan ninyo ay anong programa yung ipapatapat namin once we win political power. Then the discourse becomes more principled. But I think the problem is up to this time, our electorate don't have much appreciation for the need to create strong parties. Hindi natin ma-appreciate kung ano yung ginagawa, yung importansya ng partido in a liberal democratic state. Parties are important because they function as one accountability mechanisms, and number two, they also function as an aggregator of interest. Supposedly yung partido, yung nagko-connect between ordinary citizens and the state, gobyerno mo. Kasi yung partido mo kasi, supposedly may organizers, may CEOs, and itong mga CEOs na community organization bumababa para mag-recruit into the party to ask people ano yung pangangailangan nila, and then this organizer would give feedback to the party leaders who would eventually run in the elections. So in a way, the parties serve as linkage between the state and the citizen. And the academic literature would describe the political parties as such. Wala tayong ganang appreciation sa mga partido. Ang meron tayong appreciation, the church and the media, they have their roles. But during elections, what they can do is just monitor. Pag elections, ang main mechanism for aggregating interest and ensuring and disciplining your elites and ensuring the creation of a programmatic government are political parties. As long as our electorate do not have much appreciation for political parties as mechanisms for accountability and as an aggregator of interest, then the executive would have no choice but to use the pork barrel as a current state mechanism to ensure the loyalty of the legislature. Tingin ko that's the only way without strong political parties.